Hello, and welcome to 5 for Friday for this Friday, July 29th. I cannot stop reading the news now. Every newsletter I get, every email, I subscribe to newspapers, so much news. I keep thinking there might be something relevant and fascinating that I have to share with my few ardent readers or viewers of 5 for Friday. I've become a bit obsessed. So maybe I need to find a better process or just be at peace with missing something now and again. I'm sure I can manage my news curation better, but I'm just so curious and I don't want to miss anything important. So anyway, let's get started for this week. We'll take a look at the top 5 categories for this last week of July. I wanted to let you know that I would likely be taking a break for the next couple weeks since I will theoretically be on vacation. If you count driving from New Jersey or Wisconsin to New Jersey and back to see family and helping kids move and such. So anyway, maybe my obsession this week was because I wanted to go out with a bang if I take a couple weeks off in August. So we'll see if I can really resist reading the news while I'm on my vacation. So, all right, let's get started with story number 1, which is I can't avoid politics anymore. So while a good percentage of the news these days is political, I work pretty hard to stay neutral here at 5 for Friday. And while I'm not exactly going to go all political on you here, I do want to warn you that as our country becomes even more divided by politics, we're starting to see red and blue brands and examples of state governments taking issue with businesses that express any unwelcome political opinions. So as a small business, I guess I would suggest that you continue to do your best to maintain a neutral stance as much as possible. That seems like the best strategy, but I'm just seeing more in the news about business getting wrapped up in politics. Story number 2, climate change gets super real and obvious for some people in St. Louis and Eastern Kentucky as we had record rainfall and flooding. If you're curious to see how much temperatures have changed over time, the World Economic Forum has a cool chart that you can see how things have changed. There were a few other stories related to climate change, including some shady PR people from the 90s working with a coalition of oil and other utilities to not mention climate change as long as possible. Story number 3, we're not the only ones teetering on a recession. It sounds like this week we hear Germany and China are having trouble this year as well. And I'm sure they're not the only countries, just the ones that popped up in my stories this week. Story number 4 is the same story number 4 from last week, which is questionable ethics of big business. Maybe that could be its own newsletter. Who knows? This week we see a few layoffs, one that was handled particularly badly, which seems to be a thing with a lot of big businesses these days. Plus a few retirement payout issues, pensions and big, huge payouts to corporate consultants. So nothing that small businesses can really relate to. Oh, and oil companies posted record profits. I'm sure you saw that. And an interesting story about an electric company in Florida that created its own news website in order to generate positive stories about its business decisions out there in the press. And another expose on how giant companies make communities battle each other for the highest tax breaks in order to create a new location in these towns. Very interesting and kind of sad and disappointing. So more on that in the newsletter. Take a look when you get a chance if you're a subscriber. Finally, story number 5, also the same as story number 5 from last week, things that are relevant to small business in the news this week, including tips on being resilient in a recession, battles against the 2 major credit card companies, the importance of Google reviews for your small business, and the metaverse maybe as well. And be sure to check out the opportunities that the SBA is offering through the government as we're seeing fewer businesses taking advantage of those. And then this week in recession, yes or no? I had 1 yes story, 5 no, and 6 neutral. What does that mean? No one can agree. Are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? The indicators don't match what we expect. And I found a recession tracking spreadsheet that I found. Feels like a copycat, but take a look at that if you're a newsletter subscriber. All right, so if you've made it this far in the video, you're obviously a true 5 for Friday fan. So a bonus story for you this week, a great New York Times article sharing the whole Jeff Bezos $500 million yacht versus the historic bridge. So take a look in the newsletter. That should be a gifted article if you want to read the whole thing. Again, if you like this video, make sure you also subscribe to the newsletter, which has a lot more detail and hyperlinks to all the stories I found. Thanks for joining me today. As I said, I'll be off the next few weeks as I'm working. So I will, post another 5 for Friday when I get a chance after I'm back from my vacation. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you in August. Thanks. Bye.